Hi friends, today we are going to be putting to use all of the tools that we have been using with our area model and applying it to story problems. So if you want to get your math book out, you can. If not, you can just follow along. Right now we are going to be reading the problem and pulling out the information that we need. Now if you notice, I've turned my book sideways because what I've noticed is that when we're doing our adding and subtracting, we're still mixing up our place values, so we're going to turn it back and use the strategy that we've used before of using our columns to help us line up our numbers. Alright, so let's read our problem. During the 2010 Great Backyard Bird Count, an average of 42 bald eagles were counted in each of the 20 locations throughout Alaska. In 2009, an average of 32 bald eagles were counted in each of the 26 locations throughout Alaska. Based on this data, how many more bald eagles were counted in 2010 than 2009? And we're not going to use our graphic organizer, we're going to do it on our paper. Alright, there is lots of information, but the first thing we want to know at the end, we want to know how many more bald eagles. With how many more, we know that we're going to subtract 2010 from 2009. Now, if we come back up here, we see 2010. 2010, we saw 42 bald eagles in each of the 20 locations. In each is your clue that you're going to have to multiply those numbers because we don't know the total number yet to subtract. But we can find it by using this. And then the same thing for 2009. 2009 is the other year that we need. This one had 32 bald eagles were counted in each of the 26 locations. And remember, in each is usually multiply. Alright, so now we've got to come back to our paper. So I want to try to keep both up here. Alright, so on our paper here, we know that we're going to have to do 2010's total minus 2009's total. That's what we need to find out. Okay, so I'm going to make my 2010 work area and then my 2009 work area. So I'm just getting my information. I'm not doing any math yet. So in 2010, we've got 42 times 20. So in each of the 20 locations, there's 42. So 20 groups of 42. So that means my problem is going to be 42 times 20. That's what I'm going to have to do my area model. So now in 2009, we have 26 groups of 32. All right. So now, can I find out how many birds or eagles were in 2010 and how many birds were in 2009? Yes, I have all of my information. So now I'm going to pull my book away and then I'm going to get to work with what we know how to do. Okay, so remember, I like to draw my arrows that we're going to expand this one across and this one down. We do this so when we check our work, it looks the same. So that means we have 20 plus 0. And going down, we have 40 plus 2. Where my pluses are, I'm going to draw my middle part of my box. Now this is something that some of you have not been doing, and I really would like you to do this. This is one of my requirements. I want you to write the problem in here. 40 times 20, and then 40 times 0. This is going to help make sure that we don't make mistakes like forget a 0 or multiply the wrong thing. And then on this one, we have 2 times 20. And I've told my group, this number we're just going to go ahead and put 2 times to help us remember, and then we follow up here. So this one's 2 times 20, and this one's 2 times 0. Now I'm going to multiply. So this one, 2 times 2 is 4 with a 0. Anything times 0 is 0. Up here, 4 times 2 is 8. I'm going to add my 2 zeros. Anything times 0 is 0. Then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to add. So I've got my 42 times 20. So we've got 800. And this is where I'm going to use my lines so I don't get confused. 0, 40, and 0. I'm going to add it. All those are zeros. There's a 4. So that means 2010 is 840. So I'm going to go ahead and put that up there. Now we got to find 2009. We're going to do the same thing. Draw my arrow over, my arrow down, and then we're going to expand. So now we have 20 plus 6 and 30 plus 2. Draw my lines where my pluses are. Draw my box. And let's get started. So remember, I'm going to do 30 times, because I know this is 30 times both those numbers. So 30 times 20 and 30 times 6. And then this is 2 again, so I'm going to do 2 times. So 2 times 20. And 2 times 6. All right. It was 40. 2 times 6 is 12. 3 times 2 is 6, plus my 2 zeros. And 3 times 6 is 18. I'm going to write my problem on this side because I ran out of lines on that side. So I've got 32 times 26. So I've got 600, 180, 40, and 12. So that's 2, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, regroup, 6, 7, 8. 832 in 2009. Am I done? Nope, I've got to do the very last thing because my question was, how many more bald eagles were counted in 2010 than 2019? And we've already decided we're going to subtract that, and we actually have that problem up here. Now, Miss Corbin doesn't do very well when it's written across, so I'm going to write it down here so I can see it and use my lines to help me. If you want to do your ones, tens, hundreds, you can, but you can just use this to line it up. So 832. Okay, I have 0, I can't take away 2. I'm going to regroup and borrow, so now that's 3 tens. We have 10 ones now. 8, 0, and 0. So my answer is 8 more bald eagles. Now, and this is my answer, so I always want to make sure that we star or circle our answer so we know, so you know where to look when you go back. Now, if we take a look at this, this was all the work for one problem. So we had step 1, step 2, and step 3 to find our answer. So as we work through these story problems, we need to make sure that we do all the steps to find the actual answer of what we know. So we've used expanded form, we used distributive property, we used multiplication, we did our adding, we did some, oops, this is not, we did some subtracting. So we're using all the skills that we have been practicing in an actual story problem. We will be practicing some more of these today in class.